Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Pickles. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Theme Park Tycoon in Roblox, episode number 7. Today, we will be building stuff. Crazy concept, I know. What? Building stuff in a building game. We will be continuing work on our upstairs monorail, and then also do some work on the downstairs cafeteria project. Come to the monorail. So far, it looks pretty good. I fell through the floor. I then realized, yeah, we need to get a floor on this thing, because if you can fall right through the floor, that's not a good idea. Just turn it into concrete so it looks a little bit better. And then I decide I get the concrete bug, and I just start putting a lot of concrete down. I also try to work out the train, see how I can get the train through. We will do a lot of stuff with the train. That will come up quite a bit in today's episode and the episodes to follow, because it's just a little wonky to get the train to fit where I want it to. Popping in some restrooms. I need the metal door piece, and then we'll just dye the colors, the actual colors I want. I then also changed the bathrooms to that blue, because I think it looks a little bit better. It gives kind of the blue aesthetic that we have going on the upstairs, so that should be good. So actually for this game, you can actually charge money for the restrooms. I will not be doing that, because I just think that's stupid. Like, you should be able to go to a restroom at a theme park for free. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I add the lights to the other side of these paintings, and I'm like, this room could use some lights. So I look around with some like neon lights on the spaceship. Didn't really like how any of those look, so I was like, alright, let's just put them in the first room when you walk in. I'll mess around with the lights quite a bit just to try to get the light level to where you can see enough, but not so much that you're like blinded by light. I decided, let's open up this side of the monorail, because I thought this could be cool if like the monorail comes close. Now, I don't want people standing next to the monorail, because the thought process is like, ooh, it's going to be coming by fast, so you don't want to be too close, so it's going to be walled off by like the railing, but it will also be close enough that you can see it like clearly. We're building up some walls. I'll change these walls to concrete in just a minute. Getting the walls on the wall. Kind of weird. We're putting the walls on the terrain block. I put the terrain blocks in simply because if not, your camera glitches through the wall, and that's kind of annoying. So we put the terrain walls in. Add a little ceiling. This room becomes a nice little boxed off room pretty quick. I wanted that hanging like, I wanted it to like fully wrap around the upstairs all the way around that walkway, and now I can finally do that. Even if it's just for the monorail on the left side, I think it looks really good. I come up here, check on the lights, the illuminated orange and blue lights that light up the upstairs at night. I think it looked really cool. I don't really know what I'm doing. Oh, I look into putting some spotlights on the roof. I said, what if I could put some spotlights? Would that add a cool aesthetic? I decided not to. Just popping some concrete on top of these pillars. Change the grass into concrete. All fun stuff. Just building up the walls, trying to make everything even. I don't exactly know for the time being what I want to do with the actual wall, like the exit of this place. I'm still determining what to do with that stuff. Um, so, and the entrance before you actually get to this room. Although those are kind of different, so we're still deciding, like, what's going to happen right when you leave this room and the journey before you get to this room. I believe I will tackle them both in next episode or the episode after that. Turn down the lights just a bit. I like the idea of this blinking orange light, even if it's kind of dark. But this light that, this orange light that, like, signals, hey, you know, we're about to leave. Or, like, a caution. My idea is that the tunnel is going to... I've decided that I want the tunnel to be a speed tunnel. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to delete this section of track, and I'm going to make it 200% speed. So I made it slow right before you enter the tunnel, and then I sped it up, and then slowed it down at the end. We will do... I wasn't very happy with how it worked out. I thought 200 speed would be good. I also noticed that the train wouldn't really start to speed up. The train wouldn't even start to speed up until it was in the room. You can't really tell that from the time lapse, but I noticed. Wasn't a big fan of it. So we went back and we kept tinkering with the track pieces. I went to go try to fix it, and then I was like, okay, you cannot put... I have to put the ride closed. That gets annoying sometimes, that you have to always have the ride closed. I wish I could edit it in testing. Trying to slow down the train at the right time. You can see all the track has the boosters or the slow down pieces because I'm editing it so much. It's no longer standard track. It's really... I put concrete below. I liked this idea of there being, like, these trains are on pillars. Because if you've seen monorail trains, they have tires on the underside of the track. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to, like, have a buffer zone between the actual floor and the track. I don't know, I thought it would look maybe more realistic. I hook up these lights to the track piece right before where we get slowed down, and then that way these lights will go off right before the train comes down. I thought that would be a cool idea. Just building up these pillars to the roof. They'll be dyed white in a minute. I like the structural, like, integrity of keeping the roof, like, it wouldn't make sense if it was just floating in the air. It only makes sense when it has a pillar to keep it upright. Just changing the color of the space rings. I was thinking about what if I could get like a rotating color or like a cool light going on, and then I just decided to go back just to a normal light. Not really worth it. Not really sure what's going on here. I'm looking around, seeing what I want to do next. I decided it would be a good idea to get these walls up. This place would look a lot better if it was enclosed. So I thought now would be a great time to close this all in. So I put in all the ceilings. Except for where the monorail is, I decided to leave that open. Start popping in these lights. So the neon lights are the only lights you can place on ceilings. You can only place other lights on roofs, which is a big difference when you're playing this game. So I will use the neon lights for pretty much everything because it works the best. Got this gray ceiling kind of going on. Kind of like the aesthetic of keeping everything like a modern, futuristic, like white look. I do start to notice that it looks a little plain. And I start looking for a way to, what if we could make it a little more colorful? We'll come back to that idea in a moment. I look into like getting lights or something, and I decide to make this section blue to match the monorail aesthetic. Get that blue stripe. I think it actually looks really good. I put in the wall pieces for the like line, and then decide, you know what? Let's make a blue wall go around the whole second floor. And I really like actually how it turns out. I think it turns out really nice. So, yeah, I actually think it comes out really, really nice. I really like the color blue. We might do something like that with a stripe again later, but you'll have to wait and see when that comes out. Putting in some concrete blocks to keep the camera from glitching through. I leave this section on the curve. At a slow speed. I try a faster speed, but then I just decide, like, that's just not going to work. And then I speed it up right after it clears the turn. So, it actually comes out pretty good. Looking around, seeing what do I want to do next. I decided to add some lights, so I pop in a roof piece. Make it blend in, and then I put spotlights. I actually like this. It's kind of ruins the feel, but I think the spotlights shining on the spaceship are actually a really good change because I really want the spaceship to light up. Like, I really want it to be exciting, especially at night when there's no light coming through the ceiling. I think that will be very important. Did I get rid of those benches? I cannot remember. Okay, I have to go back and see. Because I swore those benches were here. That's interesting. Huh. Kind of weird. Just adding in some stuff. Some, like, railing and rope pieces. Walking around, seeing some stuff. Little subtle cut there. There's an individual who is in my base checking it out. I actually am surprised by how many people come into the base and look around. Like, I don't think I've ever, like, looked into someone's base. I just don't. I'm normally just busy with my base. Good silence. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm contemplating life. Oh, I remember. I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, what am I going to do next? That guy behind me has a really nice base. Oh, I think I was showing you guys what I had accomplished. We start getting in tables. I start coming up with the idea for this large eatery room. I mean, you guys have seen, anyone who's been to Disney knows how they have those giant shop rooms filled with tons of different stalls and different types of foods. We just start messing around. Start removing some of the pieces of scaffolding above. They will just float there for all of eternity. Start putting in these tables, some floors. Everything's looking pretty nice, if I do say so myself. Start getting some wall concrete pieces in. Decide to end the wall right here. That way so we have enough space for our train. I also didn't consider how big a train is, so that is a problem.
But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I put some wall pieces in on the wall on the right side in a few minutes. I decided to add 2 of each stall. That way so we could fit more. And then 5 different stall types. So I think we have like drinks, pizza, fries, slushies, and one other. I don't know what the last one is. We add these walls in. Make them white. Keep with the aesthetic. We might be adding a stripe to the whole room. We might not be. I'm not going to spoil it, even though it kind of just did.
Nice.
I know you're on the edge of your seats wondering what could possibly take place here. Put some ceiling in. Add roofs. Roofs help. Put some concrete in between these for aesthetic. Plus it makes more sense to have a firm concrete holding up this building instead of whatever. No concrete, and it's just these tiny little thin walls. But I think concrete makes more logical sense. I start adding these wall pieces to cover everything up. Then I add the ceiling pieces on top of them. The black granite is from the parts where the monorail above actually overlaps with the monorail station. Like, that's the end of the ride where it's leaving the dark Space Mountain. That's why it's black granite instead of just regular concrete. We make the roof white, and I immediately come to the realization that this room has absolutely no color. And it looks really interesting. Oh, I add a white trim just to kind of square up that thing. Hate it. Immediately remove it because it looked awful. I noticed that I can jump through the paintings. So I noticed that and I was like, huh, that's an interesting twist. Look to put in ceiling lights. They don't work, so I just put in the neon lights. They work perfectly fine on these ceilings, so thank gosh for the neon lights, because if not, it would be such a pain in the butt to get lights. I decided to add the blue color scheme to most of the buildings and then have some of them orange with a stripe. Yeah, slushies, and then what is that one? Ice cream? Looks like an ice cream with the flavors. So I got these alternating colors. So we got pizza, ice cream, slushies. We put some walls in the back. Just drop some in all the way around. And I just notice how plain this room looks. It needs something. So I add a yellow stripe through the whole room. And then I come to a really big realization. This wall cannot be painted yellow because everything is too close to the wall. So I'm going to move the entire room back a single terrain block. Why? Because I want it to look good. Most people, it's like, there are two types of, I compare this game a lot to Minecraft because it has a very similar blocky, style. I mean, all of Roblox is very similar to Minecraft. But, I've noticed with this kind of, game feature, a lot of people in Minecraft are either, they plan their base out to be absolutely perfectly symmetrical, and, if it's wrong, we redo the whole base. And then there's some people who are like, if it's wrong, we just build around it. I am, especially in this game, I'll move the whole base back a square for it to be perfect. So I put up these terrain walls, and I just bring the whole room back one. I decided to add a little staff door with a indent. That way so people can't see straight into the backstage areas. Add a no entrance door. It would be cool if we had staff, like janitors and stuff, who could walk around, but that would kind of ruin the current game design. So, the door actually works perfectly with the wall piece. So, I end up adding wall. I realized if you add wall, the light just goes right through it. So I was like, oh, perfect. You don't have to jump through it, and now it's wall. Let's start coming up with the idea. Maybe we could make the whole room, all the shops yellow. I don't like the wooden tables. They don't go with the modern feel, but we'll address that at a later time. I stretch the wall around. I do not come to the realization that the train will not fit. So that's a problem that we're gonna have to face in a new episode. I don't even think it's the next episode. I think it's 2 episodes from now. We realize our mistake. Get the lights in. And honestly starts looking pretty good. The it's kind of, yeah, I would call it a restaurant. I was gonna say it's like a canteen, but it really is a restaurant. My fear for this park is that it is going to be, what is my fear for this park? Nowhere to sit. So I hope by adding restaurants with tons of seats, we can actually add places. So I'm removing, now that I've just learned that you can remove the floor pieces and the floors and walls and light will still shine through, I delete those floor pieces and I add in spotlights to illuminate the spaceship. I will turn these spotlights very far down. Man, that guy's base next to me looks good. Dang. That is a good looking base. That's the goal anyway, something that pretty. I drop it down 1 block just to keep things kind of consistent for the earlier part of the ride. That everything's a block lower. I kind of get rid of this realism the second that we actually get to the next portion of the ride. like immediately after this, you go, when you make that left turn onto, it comes completely flat. So that stinks, but I'm not changing that because I don't feel like it. And, we've made it too far. We can't go back. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. So, oh well. Adding in these floor pieces, I just want to see how close I can get to that border. And I still got one block, so I was like, okay, perfect. Like, this will work fine. Just kind of test out the monorail. You can see it speed by. It looks really cool. Like right there. Then it goes, there's not a floor gap like the rest of the monorail. So I was like, oof. We cover these things up. I don't even adjust it at all. It's a little too bright. It's a little too bright. I should fix it. Nothing. Okay. Huh. I filmed these episodes a lot in advance. That's why if you ever send a comment like, hey, do this, it will take a while before I'll do it. I want to say I filmed up to episode 11 or 12 is actually filmed. And then I do the voice recordings after. So I will change the brightness of the spaceship. And if I haven't, I will come back in episode 13 and I will turn down the brightness of that spaceship because it looks way too bright. Look at the light pollution coming through that ceiling. I can barely see. I will spend quite a bit of time working on the lights because right now it is very, very bright. Like, very bright. I changed the other trains to speed up because I just learned this feature that you don't even have to buy the Game Pass to be able to speed up trains. You just have to go into advanced pieces. It works really well. If you guys want, I can do a tutorial on it, but I mean, it's pretty simple. Yeah, well, here we are. My chair is squeaky. Sorry about that. Here we are. End of the episode. I'm going to show you around. Look at the kitchen, canteen area. Restaurant. Dang it. Restaurant. I don't even know what I'm going to call this. I'm now one block further back. Wonderful. That little hole in the wall will stay for the time being. It's just a quick cut through. This is the upstairs. Everything looks nice. We got a nice rotating light. And then finally, what we're going to do is we are going to do a ride POV of all the rides and everything we've updated. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I'm going to leave you here today. This was a long episode. We are at 29 minutes in and 28 minutes in, and that is a long time. I try to keep these episodes anywhere from 20 to 24 minutes, and so 28, and we still got some time to go. But I will leave you to watch this for your viewing enjoyment. If you enjoyed, I hope you did, because it was a lot of fun to film this. And if you did enjoy, if you could drop a like, that helps people see this video and spread the word about the channel. You can also subscribe. You know, that's up to you if you want to. I'm not your dad, so I can't tell you. It's a free country, free world. Hopefully you did enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day.